In today's video, I want to talk about the one thing that I believe you must do as a trader to succeed, to profit, and to find consistency. Now, my plan for this video is not to just sit here and blow smoke. I'm actually going to show you 2 live trades of me doing this exact thing, which I believe has led to a lot of success in my trading. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Press that like button, subscribe. Let's jump right into it. So guys, the thing that we're talking about here today is a major focus on watching the futures charts. Trading, deciding, and managing your trades based off of futures levels. That is the NASDAQ futures and the S&P 500 futures. I truly believe and wholeheartedly believe that in order to know how to manage your trades, when to enter your trades, if they're not specifically on the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, let's say trading Tesla or NVDA or Apple, etc., I believe it is a must to understand where the NASDAQ and S&P 500 are trading, what are the key levels on the market in order to accurately enter, manage, and exit a position on the market. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this a lot. I've tried my best to always explain this concept, but I think I have a really good example in today's video. Today, I took some puts on NVIDIA and on Tesla. Now, these positions were based off of a key level on both the individual stocks, but also a very important level on the overall market, structuring my trades around those futures levels. I truly believe if you are not trading with those futures levels, if you're flying blind and just trading individual stocks, you're pretty much trading with one eye closed, in my opinion. I think you have half the information that you need. And if this is something you're not doing, I highly recommend you consider it. So let's now jump into the charts. We'll talk a little bit about the NASDAQ levels I was watching today, which we go over every day in the live stream. And then we will break down the trades on Tesla and on NVIDIA. And at the end of today's video, you will see the live trading. So guys, every single morning, no matter what I do, the first thing that I look at, the second I roll out of bed, jump into this chair, the first thing that populates on this chart on Thinkorswim is the NASDAQ futures and the S&P 500 futures. I have to know where are the supply and where are the demand levels, what are the levels that I am going to trade off of on the futures today. If I don't have that information, there is no way that I am trading confidently. That is a must every single morning we come into the market. Every single day I provide this for the group, also in the live streams. If you want to get some futures levels for free, just come to the pre-market live stream every single morning. So you guys can see here in the group, we do a nice explanation of the NASDAQ as well as the S&P 500. But where I want to sort of aim at is my intraday commentary. This is sort of that really detailed analysis of every single day, what I would be looking for. So for today, we had struggle at that 14,460. That was our morning supply. That was the previous day high. So we knew coming into today, we are not going to long into that level. And that means I'm not going to long Tesla, NVIDIA, any other stock. I'm not going to be longing that position if I'm seeing the NASDAQ futures rejecting the previous day high in the pre-market, right? That is already structuring my day. Now, what I said was, however, I would not be short until we break and hold under 14,400. Now, the reason we have 14,400 here is because 14,400 on the NASDAQ futures was the Friday high. Now, you can see right here, we had a Friday high of 14,400. We also have, if we go into yesterday's price action, we also have some previous rejections and end-of-day support at 14,400 as well. So if we reject 14,460, which you guys can see here this morning, when we reject 14,460, we have to now be careful of that 14,4 turning into demand, right? Because we broke that level, we're coming back into it. So I didn't want to be short into 14,4. I wanted to be short on a break and retest of 14,4. So we broke that 14,4. We came into the previous day lows. If I go back, right, this was our demand level that we had today. We can see here on the NASDAQ futures, we have that demand level down here around that 200 SMA and down by that previous day low around 14.3. Now, we got that pop off that level as expected, playing off our levels, and we retested the 14.4. Now, as we were retesting that 14.4, I was interested to see, do we reject the rejection points from yesterday? Do we reject Friday highs on that retest of 14.4? So if I go ahead and zoom in here, I'm going to go into the intraday chart, and you guys are going to see how this played out on the NASDAQ. So we broke down, right? You guys can see right here. We broke down under 14.4. We retested it. We started to see some struggling candles around this 14.4, and this is where I started to look short for a downside move off that 14.4 level. Now, this is a scalp trade, right? And this is why on this trade I was taking profits because, right, why was I taking profits on the move lower, right? What was my idea here? Why was I so quick to take profits on this move? Well, if we zoom out, we have to know, which again is trading off our futures levels, we are trading back towards the demand, right? If we do short the 14.4, we have to know that we don't have too much movement there. We have a little bit of a scalp opportunity, but we have to understand that that demand is still below and we need to be a profit taker. Now, you guys can see this was our morning analysis, and we were saying that if we get above that 14.460 today, if we break it, we could have that move to 14,500, and above 14,500 is free air to our 14.6. Now, what you guys can see, right, this is my pre-market analysis before anything is here on the charts. Look at how perfectly the NASDAQ moved higher, turned that 14.4 into support later day, and moved into our 14.5 supply, where we saw that end of day rejection. So, right, if we know that that 14,500 level is there, right, if we are actually focusing on the futures levels, and that 14,500 comes from right here, a previous supply, then we are not going to be long into 14,500. And we can see that there was absolutely no reason to be long into that 14,500 supply. So watching these levels on an intraday basis is making my decisions, right? I know I don't want to be short anything as we approach the demand. I don't want to be long anything as we approach the supply levels that we map out on an individual basis. Now, I'm not here to explain exactly how I was right today on the levels. I'm here to explain to you that on any given day, whenever you're looking at futures levels, make sure you are trading based off of those levels. This is the only way, in my opinion, you can guide your trading day. Try to avoid some noise. Try to make things a little bit more simple, right? And just trade off the levels. If you're pushing into a supply that you have on the futures, don't long anything. If you're trading into a demand on the futures, don't start shorting Tesla, NVDA if the NASDAQ is trading into previous day lows, right? We're not going to start shorting NVIDIA and Tesla as the NASDAQ is moving into the 200 SMA, into the previous day lows, right? This is where we can sort of guide what we are looking for on individual stocks. I think this is a must. I will stand by this till the day I die. You have to be watching these levels to guide your intraday trades. So if you remember when we were saying that we were popping into 14.4, started to see rejections and saw that downside, well, at that exact same time, we had NVIDIA and Tesla line up beautifully, right? This is the 400 level on NVIDIA. If you watched my live stream this morning, you know that our game plan was to short NVIDIA on a break and retest of 400. If we zoom out to the 4-hour chart here, I think we all know that 400 is a major level on NVIDIA, right? Both a major previous low as well as a psychological level. So today, what was I looking for? If we were to break that 400 level, if we were to break below 400, I would be looking for a break, retest, and a rejection. Now, why was I so confident at around this 1020 to 1030 time frame to short NVIDIA off 400? It was not only that it was retesting 400, it was the fact that at the exact same time, the NASDAQ futures were rejecting that 14,400 level, right? So at 1020 to 1030, which is this exact same time, the NASDAQ was pushing into a supply. So if I see NASDAQ into supply and I can see NVIDIA starting to go into that retest level, right, I could set that trade up using 400 as a break and retest, right? So if I go back to here, you guys can see we had 400 right here, right? 400 right here. We had a break. We had a retest of that 400 level at the exact time the futures were setting up into supply. So that gives me that confidence. It gives me that game plan. And here you can actually see later in the day, NVIDIA held 400 really nicely, which is going to be an interesting trade tomorrow. But that was the trade today on Tesla or NVIDIA, and it was the exact same thing on Tesla, guys, right? Tesla, we were watching that key psych 200 level today. We saw rejections at 200 yesterday. What did Tesla do? It pushed higher, right into 200 at 1020 to 1030 into supply at the same time as NASDAQ supply. Both Tesla and NVIDIA lining up those trades with the NASDAQ supply level that I was looking to play rejections off of. I would not have been confident to take Tesla and NVIDIA if I wasn't aware of where the NASDAQ was and if I didn't have that supply level on the NASDAQ. Once again, I hope this video makes some sense. I really, really strongly recommend learning the futures levels, charting those out, getting a game plan every morning off those futures levels on the NASDAQ, the S&P, and then setting up those individual stock trades based off of those levels. Why would I not have longed Tesla into 200 today? The NASDAQ was hitting supply. Why would I not have longed NVIDIA into 400 today? The NASDAQ was hitting supply, right? These are the things that are going on in my mind to structure my intraday trades. So with that said, guys, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Structuring my trades based off of individual stock levels, but also making sure that the NASDAQ futures, S&P 500 futures levels are lining up at the same time. This creates an A-plus trade and an A-plus game plan. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and roll the live trades. You're going to see me trade Tesla, trade NVIDIA with the group, go through a little bit of drawdown, but sticking to the game plan and understand what's going on in the market. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more live trades. After you see those live trades, I'm just going to end the video. So once again, guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for all the support on the channel, the live streams. Once again, if you want to get those morning live stream levels, the futures levels, every single morning starting at 8 a.m. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, enjoy these live videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Yeah, I might start getting into an NVIDIA position here, guys. That might be all I can ask for. I'm going to maybe take something real small here. I'm going to start with 395 puts here. And I'll go into maybe 5 or 6 if we get a push into 400. It's going to go into drawdown. I'm totally expecting it to. I'm totally expecting it to go into drawdown. The NASDAQ is still holding the 200, yes. It's still holding. It's still holding yesterday's lows as well. Okay, so NASDAQ is holding that demand still. Yesterday's lows is still holding. That is very important. That's nothing but a bear flag to me on Tesla right now, potentially. That is nothing but a potential Tesla bear flag in the 200 here. I'm taking another 5 contracts on Tesla right there. Tesla 195 puts again. Stop over 200. I really like how we're slowly moving into these supply levels. This is very interesting to me. We are slowly moving into some major supply on NVIDIA and Tesla. This is very interesting. I'm not going to switch up my thought here. This is very much my idea still, that these levels reject. I'm going to add 2 more contracts to NVIDIA right there. I'm just watching the levels on Tesla and NVIDIA, guys, right? These are the retest levels that I wanted to play. I am entering small shorts at the levels that I'm playing. I'm already up nicely on the short under 14.4 today, so now I'm looking to see if I can play the retest rejection that I game planned from the early morning. Right? This is nothing new. This is the exact trade idea that I had from the beginning of the day. So I'm going to go for it. If I have to lose on it, then that's okay. If this Tesla candle wicks back under 200, I'm very interested still. I want to see this 200 reject on Tesla. which it is very nicely right now, which I'm very happy about. I still like it. 14.4 is rejecting on the NASDAQ, which is very clear. That's the supply that we were watching. 14.4. Yeah, 14.4 still battling. It's not as clean as you'd like. The NASDAQ is the problem child, it looks like. You really need that NASDAQ to break down, which I'm just not seeing yet. But I'm not gonna be emotional over a 2-minute candle here. Gotta see it out. You should be very comfortable in NVIDIA right now. If you're not comfortable, you're in too much size, guys. I can't stress that enough. If you're not comfortable right here, you're in way too much size. This is the best entry to be in right here on NVIDIA because you have such small risk. You're just risking over 400. Come on, Tesla. A little bit more. Yep. All right. I'm out of Tesla. Took profits on Tesla, 15%. Still holding NVIDIA. All right, guys. Very nice. That's it. If you're not taking profits now, I don't know what to tell you.